Hi friends, I thought I would just jump on here and talk to you about what my week has been this week, which has been a lot of touring colleges with my daughter who is going to college next year. So yeah, it's been a very busy week, and I just wanted to share kind of the emotions of what I'm going through as we're doing this. So this is towards the end of the week, and we've been to, I would say, 3 colleges. So these are not colleges that she wants to actually go to. She's going to apply to some of them, but she just wanted to kind of get the feel. So we did this college tours for her to really get a feel of the size of a college, the number of students, kind of the atmosphere. So we did a lot of walking around at those colleges. So we went to one. The first one had about 36,000 college, and it's local to where we live. And we did a kind of a tour, self-guided tour, walked around, kind of check out things, so she kind of has the sense of how like a college with 36 students feel like. And then we went to another one, which was about 2 hours away from where we live. And this one has about, I think, 60 to 70,000 students. So it's a very big college. And beautiful in its own ways. I mean, the first one we went to was also pretty, but it's in the middle of the city, so it doesn't have a lot of space. The second one is also in the middle of a city, which is about 2 hours away from where we live, and there's a lot of space. There are a lot of green areas, so she liked that. And then went to one which is about 7 to 10,000 students, and this is the college that I actually went to for my MBA in finance. So it's a private college, it's very small, and so we kind of looked around to see, and kind of for her to get a sense of what a very small college feels like. So that's kind of what we've been doing this week. And I realized that as we're doing all this touring and looking at college, it's hitting me that my daughter is going to be going to college and starting her own life, and will be doing college, probably get a job after, or maybe go do a master's program or whatever, and just starting her own life, and wouldn't be coming home like she's been all these years. It's starting to sink in. And I did take I kind of changed my schedule in terms of what I was going to pursue in the last 2 years of a college. That was another reason why I actually did a transition and kind of pivoted what I was doing into AI consultants, and also doing, coaching with women. So I took the time because I really wanted to be there for her. That was important for me. And now as we're approaching this time that she'll be leaving the house and starting her own thing, I realize it is not as easy as I thought it was going to be. It is very difficult. As we're walking around this college, I'm thinking, oh yeah, my daughter is actually grown up, and this is going to be a life in about a year from now. She's going to be at one of these colleges doing her own thing, living her own life. And I want that for her. I really want that for her. I want her to actually, which she agrees, she wants to go to a college which is far away from home, just to give her the breathing space and also experience different things than where she just grew up. So I'm happy for her to do that. And again, the colleges we were going to that are close to our city where we live are more for her just to get the feel of a college, and how, different number of students kind of colleges feel. But I know she wants to go to colleges that are kind of far away from home, which is good. But for me, just 10:49, in my midlife, realizing, my kids are leaving the house and starting to be their own people. And of course, you're not as needed as you used to be. And there's some fear that comes with it. There's a fear for, fear for her. Like, did I teach her enough? Is she ready? fear for her to experience the world out there, which is not so kind sometimes. So you start to have all these fears. And for me, it's not really that they're leaving the house and I'm going to be home and they're going to be gone, but it's just the fact that you raise this human being, and she's a wonderful, well-grounded girl. And now she's starting this life and you're not going to be there like you've been for them, when they've gone through things, and now they have to become adults, which is beautiful. But in some way, you start to kind of have this fear of, is she going to be able to handle this? The pressures that come with college life, all the things that, can happen in a college. And is she ready? Did I teach her enough? Does she know enough to handle what's coming? The good and the bad, the wonderful and the not so wonderful. Is she ready? So these are things that, I don't know. This week, it has just been kind of hitting home, because this is our first of the many tours we're going to be doing for college. And of course, we're starting with the ones that are closest to home, that kind of works with our schedule as she's on breaks from school, from high school and stuff. But just sitting with that. And I know if you're a mom and you're, around my age or older and your kids are out of college or going to college, you probably have felt the same things that I'm feeling, which is the excitement and happiness that your child is growing up and they're moving on and they're doing their own thing. At the same time, the fear for them, whether they can handle the world and all the stuff that's going on in the world right now. And even you thinking to yourself, did I prepare my daughter enough? Right? Did I prepare my child enough for them to handle these things? And really, what is enough? Right? What is actually enough that you can say, yeah, I've done my job? And I think I've done the best I can. And I do believe, for me, that having taught my kids and still teaching my kids the importance of having a relationship with God is one of the most important things that I could do. I really believe, of all the duties I have as a mother, the most important thing that I can do, besides teaching them about money, teaching them about college, school, homeworks and stuff, and being a good person, is for them to know Jesus and for them to have a relationship with Jesus, because that's who they're going to have when I'm not there. That's the only constant that they have. So I have really reinforced that in my children, doing Bible studies, going to church, then youth groups and stuff. So all I can do, of course, is they're getting ready to leave, and my daughter being the first one, is just trust God that, Jesus, you've got this, you've got my daughter. I've done the best, and I continue to do the best, to encourage them to study the word of God, to pray, to meditate on the things of God. And that's really all we can do. And so for me, I would say that is the most important thing that I can give them, is to have introduced them to Christ, for them to have a relationship with Christ, for them to walk in the things of God. And I see that they're doing that. I see they have a love of God. So that makes me very happy. So even though there are all these other things that I might look and be anxious about, which I'm not really anxious, actually, to say the truth. But there may come, some fear that may come in my mind, like, oh, is she going to be able to handle this? I at least have that comfort in me that they know God, she knows God, and that God is going to be there to protect her. He's going to, restrain her. He's going to be the one when I'm not there to say, you can't do this, you can't wear that, you can't say this. That God will be there to restrain. The Holy Spirit is going to be working with her to help her as she's, transitioning into this time in her life, which is not easy. It's exciting. And I also know she's excited, but part of it, there's also, I think, some fear of, like, oh, I'm leaving my house and my home and my family, and I'll be going into this new, very wide, big world to start a life. So yeah, that is the thing, because I think a lot of us women, we might, and I know people talk a lot about the fact that your children have left the house and you're not needed anymore, and those are things that, you know, they happen, and we feel that sometimes. I don't believe, for me, that it's a big thing, because I don't know, the needed parts, I've gone through it, and I've done my parts of being needed. I'm actually also very ready to transition, which is why we are on this channel anyway. Talk about our own, you know, transitioning as we're getting to be free from all the responsibilities as much as we can. All the things that people kind of, you know, all the things that we had to carry. And as children are leaving the house, you're carrying less and less of that. So I'm looking forward to that. Looking forward to being 50. Looking forward to when my boys leave the house, though I still have a lot of years with my youngest. But I'm looking forward to this season, second chapter of my life. And so I wouldn't say I feel a sense of loss in terms of, oh, she's not going to need me anymore. Of course, I know that she's not going to need me anymore. But I'm excited about what it looks like. Our relationship will be very different, you know, once she's in college, once she's working, married and all. It's gonna be very, very different, and I am looking forward to seeing what that looks like. And if you've watched one of my other videos that I talk about the fact that when you're no longer irrelevant, when you're no longer relevant in people's life, they get to actually choose you, and they no longer need you to survive, like children, you know, need us as parents to survive for, you know, half their lives before they're adults. They get to choose you. And I think that is powerful, because as I'm looking at this transitioning happening with my daughter, she's going to be going to college. She's going to have to be choosing whether she wants to still have a relationship with me, still continue talking to me, still, you know, continue being part of our family, and how much of that and what it will look like. She gets to determine that. So it will be interesting, and I look forward to that. And I think I'm also in a place where I really am someone who is redesigning my life, as we talk about on this channel, where I'm redesigning my life to a place where whatever my children decide, you know, and however much they want me in their life or don't want me in their life, that I should be okay. I should be okay spiritually, emotionally, mentally, that I should not be like, oh, I'm going to go into some depression because my children are living their lives and maybe they're not talking to me every week or every month or whatever, right? I am redesigning my own life to where I'm busy with my own stuff. I'm doing my own things, that they're free to have their own lives. Yes, I want to, you know, I want to be part of their lives, but I want to be part of their lives as much as they will allow me to be. And make it easy for them, so they don't feel like there's any guilt or any pressure to, you know, to talk to me at certain times of the week or certain time a month, but that they desire to talk to me, and whenever they feel like talking, you know, I'll be there to talk. Whenever they feel like visiting, I'll be around for that. So that's kind of, you know, when we're talking about redesigning our lives. And something else I was thinking about this week as we're doing all these tours is that, like, how am I going to be redesigning my life as these children are leaving my home, as they're starting their own lives? What are the things I need to put in place so that I'm not lonely, so that you're not you know, grasping and whatever, you're not making your kids feel guilty? What are the things you can start to put in place? You know, do I need to, you know, create a community that I can be spending a lot of my time with them as the children are leaving the house? So I think these are things that we need to think about. You're probably going through as well if your kids are at this stage in your life, and just making those kind of decisions. And of course, they don't have to be, you know, in one day, but just starting to think about them and putting things in place. And this is where I am. So I'm just sharing where I am as I'm doing all this, as I've, I've just driven. We just spent about, what time did we leave the house? We left the house in the morning around 9, and we're just getting back home around 4, right after looking at all these colleges today, the 2 colleges we went to. So it's been a long day. I'm exhausted, but I just wanted to come here and talk to you about this is what's happening, and that the feelings that kind of creep in as you're doing all these processes of transitioning, because this is my daughter transitioning, and it will be a transition for all of us when she leaves, and what happens. And we are right now starting that process as we're looking at different colleges and deciding what to do. So that's that's what I wanted to share with you, just as I'm sitting here in the car and coming to the end of this trip that we just had today. So if you're in this situation where you are also getting ready for your kids to leave the house, share with me what you're going through, what your feelings are, and join our community, the Substack community. The link is in the description. I would love for you to be part of our community. Subscribe to the channel, and let's share this midlife journey that we're in, because I'm trying to document as much of my life as I'm doing, I am in the midlife process now. So share with me what you are going through, the transitions you're going through with your own kids. I'll be very, very glad to read your comments. I'll talk to you later. Bye.